A few weeks ago, I was approached to talk at an online conference concerning the topic of self-love. The organisers had seen my TED Talk and they thought my message was perfect for the theme of their event. Now, my channel's all about anxiety, so what has self-love got to do with that? And what the hell is self-love anyway? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain why self-love is actually one of the most important concepts in our anxiety recovery. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tim Box, remedial hypnotist and mind coach. I work one-to-one with people to help them overcome all sorts of emotional and psychological issues, and in particular, to help them get the other side of high anxiety and panic. Before we go any further, please give this video a like by clicking the thumbs up button below, as it helps the video get seen and helps more people get the help they need. So this video is slightly different from the usual episodes in that I'm going to show you the first of a series of 2 videos that are taken from the interview I gave to Mihai and Simona from the Self-Love Truth Summit. By the way, these guys are awesome and they put on an amazing online event, which I'll link to in the description so you can check out all the speakers. But in this video, I'm going to show you some clips from the interview I gave, which should explain the link between self-love and anxiety. In this first one, you'll hear me explain what I'm talking about when we approach the topic of self-love and why most people get this completely wrong.
So today we have a very special guest. Tim Box is joining us. Tim, welcome to the summit.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be invited onto the summit. It's an honor, actually. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak.
So, Tim, thank you one more time for being here.
You're welcome.
And I just want to ask you, my first question is, what is self-love and what isn't?
If we don't have some degree of self-love on board as a fundamental, then everything else falls apart. It's like the first principle. For me, I think a lot of people, when they talk about self-love, when they talk about self-esteem, self-respect, that kind of thing, they very much make the mistake of making a qualitative judgment on themselves before they grant themselves that love and that care and that self-support, if that makes sense. And so they'll look at what they've done in the past, whether they've made mistakes, whether they've hurt other people or hurt themselves or taken missteps in their life. And then they'll say, well, I don't like who I am, or I don't like what I've done. And as a result, they start withholding that self-love and they're kind of waiting for them to prove themselves again before they start to just care about themselves, you know? And I think that's the mistake we make, is waiting to regard ourselves as worthy of some degree of self-esteem, self-respect and self-love. And I think, and this is what I'm always talking to my clients about, is that that's step one. Yeah, we love ourselves unconditionally before we embark upon our challenges and our adventures and our journey. And we never fall below that base level of saying, well, I might not like where I am right now. I might not like how I'm performing right now. I might not like what I've done in the past, but I will never fall below that level of loving myself, because if I grant myself that self-love, that's the foundation stone. And all the improvements that I want to make about me are built upon that foundation stone. Yeah. So for me, self-love is the fundamental base level thing that we should all grant ourselves unconditionally, without making the mistake of deciding whether we feel like we're worth it or not. You know, so it's not an action. It's not things that we do. It's an attitude that we have to ourselves, that we're always worthy of our positive regard, and we're always worthy of the efforts we would want to put in to be the person we want to be. In this next clip, I go on to talk about why this idea of self-love is so important when it comes to getting control of our anxiety levels. A lot of it comes from low self-esteem in terms of how we feel we can handle the thing. Because the bottom line here is that day-to-day anxiety, we're not anxious about the thing. We're anxious about our perceived ability to cope with the thing. So it always comes back to how we feel about ourselves. And if all we're doing is beating ourselves up and talking ourselves down, then the version of us that takes on today's challenges will be, in our own eyes, slightly diminished, slightly less able to cope. And as a result, all those day-to-day things that we could probably do without thinking, we start to feel anxious about. Because the version of ourself that goes into this challenge now seems a lot less capable than the version before we talked ourselves down and beat ourselves up. So this is why I'm always saying, look, if you can grant yourself that favor of just always being positive with yourself, accepting that mistakes are part of learning. We're all going to take missteps at times. We're all going to have thoughts that don't make sense. Why did I think that, kind of thing? And we let them go. Then we don't have to kind of sabotage ourselves and talk ourselves into a state where we don't feel able to cope. You know, it's one of those things where somebody said to me once, what if you could change something about the way people think? You know, just if a message could be delivered, it would change the world. And what would it be? And it's always that you would be unable to beat yourself up about things. That would be what I would change. If I could Thanos it and snap my fingers and something about everyone's brain, imagine, if we all went to bed tonight and then the bit of our brain that criticizes ourselves harshly and gives us that inner rhetoric that says, oh, you're rubbish. Oh, why did you do that? Or you've made that mistake again. How useless are you? If that bit suddenly broke and couldn't work anymore, how much negativity would we receive as individuals on a day-to-day basis? Probably not much, because the most that we get is from ourselves. We're always our harshest critic. We're always the voice of negativity. If that wasn't there anymore, we'd be free to just go about our journey in life, enjoy the process of learning as we make mistakes, and probably feel pretty good about ourselves, you know? So yeah, that's why I think what we're talking about here at this kind of online conference is so important. Because people talk about self-love and they dismiss it as, oh yeah, you know, love yourself. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But it's the fundamental thing. And it needs to keep being said because not enough people are doing it. Yeah. It's not just about, oh, okay, I'll take a bath tonight, or I'll take some time to meditate. It's not about that. It's about, if you stopped beating yourself up, then you would feel naturally much better about who you are and where you are in your journey in life. Yeah. And that's the point of what I do really, is that, you know, we're not born with insecurities. We're not born hating ourselves. We learn things, we have experiences, people say things to us. And as a result, we have a negative self-image. If we can correct that, if we can look at those messages and say, actually, that wasn't valid, that wasn't fair even, then we can correct a lot of what's gone wrong. And we can actually start to, well, you know, offer ourselves a bit of self-love. I really hope this video has been of help. I'm going to put another excerpt from this interview up next week where I do a deep dive into my own anxiety and why I feel we can be aiming to live our life without anxiety getting in the way of our happiness. Let me know your thoughts about this one down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button before you go, and why not subscribe to the channel for more regular anxiety advice. If you have a specific anxiety related question you want answered, then you can join me live on this channel every Friday evening at 6 p.m. London time when I do a live anxiety Q&A. But that's it for now. I'm Tim Box. Always remember to be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.